allies, and friends. I want to express my respect and sympathies to the friends and family of Erixion, who was viciously gunned down by Hamilton police on November 9th of 2024. I extend this to the Rwandan community and all those impacted by this ongoing, devastating injustice. When it happened, the community was shaken. We gathered outside City Hall, right here, hundreds of people. And so many took to the street to march together to demand justice. There were rallies for Erixion held in Ottawa, Montreal, remembering him, the father of three, a brother, 43 years old, a life stolen without answers. Erixion worked for decades with the Canada Revenue Agency, was vice president of Rwandan Community abroad Toronto for many years, and worked with the Rwandan Canadian Healing Foundation. He was respected and loved. At the time of his killing, we were told a special investigation was underway. The SIU released a statement saying there was an exchange of gunfire, only to have to repeal and retract that lie, that false statement the next day. Yet they were allowed to continue as investigators here. On June 6, 2025, the report on that investigation was released. We all waited 200 days, plus a week, to read a report that offers no justice, no accountability, and makes no sense. It suggests to us that it was reasonable for two officers to shoot at Erixion 24 times, to use a taser on him repeatedly. And all of that, even though he was holding something that was not a real gun, deceptively, and arguably not. It was not a knife or any weapon of any kind. Maybe they think we forgot about the police killing of Edmund Yu, who was killed for holding a small hammer. Or Paul Boyd, who was shot and killed by police while holding a bike chain. Or Sammy Atim, who was shot 8 times during the mental health crisis because he had a knife. All these cases resulted in inquiries that called for justice. They named the violence. They asked for things like de-escalation, even tasers, conducted energy weapons, instead of gunshots. They told us it was reasonable for Erixion. Even though in their investigation, one of the officers refused to submit their notes, and the other officer refused to be interviewed. Why are we trying to submit notes or be interviewed if this is all reasonable? We were told it was reasonable, that nothing was said to Erixion. Not wait, not stop. He's walking forward and they start shooting at him and falling all over, one dropping a gun like it's a war zone. A scene where one officer stopped to reload and still doesn't impute that there's no other violence except the violence coming from them. One officer even hit another officer in the head with gunfire. All of this in a residential building where other people live. And they continue until Erixion is dead. How is this, or any of this, spoken about as reasonable? The report said he approached from the front, yet he has multiple gunshot wounds in his back. Still, we are told all of that shit is reasonable. On Tuesday of this week, many people received the 2024 Hamilton Police Services Use of Force report. A report that includes race-based data due specifically to a recognition of issues of systemic racism. In that report, a report that includes the killing of Erixion, the word de-escalation is used 29 times. In the report, de-escalation is talked about as included in police training. They talk about why it's important and necessary. Yet, in the SIU report, it stated that for Erixion, and this is a quote, he was immediately met with gunfire from the officers. That failure to apply any de-escalation resulting in death for Erixion was not included in that 2022 Use of Force report. How is it reasonable to say you are trained in de-escalation and meeting Erixion immediately with gunfire is reasonable? In the SIU report, Erixion is dehumanized, violated again. He's talked about as some inhuman person who is, quote, unfazed by violence and gunfire. Where did that language come from? Couldn't be from the notes that did not get submitted or the interview that didn't happen. That much is clear. It is, however, a more than common, dehumanizing, anti-black trope. Even more horrifying. When speaking about discharging weapons in the 2024 Use of Force report, Erixion's killing is actually mentioned in a section alongside euthanized animals. What a deeply disgraceful, racist, and disrespectful way to represent his death. These reports are not reasonable. They are institutionalized forms of deep, inhumane disrespect, and people should be rightfully outraged.